Hi guys. We are doing Patchabilities and Applique Week Part 3. So if you didn't catch Monday's video, we did prep and what kind of supplies and tools you might need for doing applique, whether that's pattern and fancy scissors and some fusible. Yesterday I walked through using the Brother Scan and Cut to cut your applique pieces and save yourselves all sorts of time. And then the game plan for today is to build your applique piece. Okay, let's see if I'm ready to demo the thing I want to demo today. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I recommended an applique pressing sheet on Monday as one of kind of the essentials for doing applique with the scenery. So an applique pressing sheet comes in a couple different sizes. It's like a magic non-stick but sticky non-stick fabric sheet, but stuff will stick to it temporarily, which is awesome. So a couple different sizes of this applique pressing sheet, and they all come with a free pattern. I don't know what free pattern, it's rolled up in there pretty tight, but that'll be just fine. These things you can use either side or both sides, and they're really pretty forgiving to work with. So the applique pressing sheet isn't quite opaque, which allows us to take the layout diagrams for our quilts and lay things out. Oh, this is not laid out the way I thought it would be. Okay, so this one is way less critical if you get it all lined up properly, because they don't give you a layout diagram. So PatchAbilities has just given out all the individual pieces, but no layout diagram on this one. So this is not to scale. This is incredibly surprising. I should have known this beforehand. So on this Fresh Lemonade one, it just gives you a smaller version of the layout. So these aren't, you don't need to be picky about where things land. But the nice thing about something like this, if this was to scale, you can see these layout diagrams through the applique pressing sheet. You might not be able to see it super well on camera. So if you're trying to line up that word fresh, you wouldn't need a ruler. You would just be able to place your F there, your R, your E, your S, and your H, and line them all up through there. And then the magic of the pressing sheet is that when you tack things to it, so the pieces I cut yesterday have fusible on the back. The white has the Brother fusible, and the red just has Wonder under. If we were trying to line up on our layout diagram for this particular pattern, turns out you don't need to lay these out perfectly. They're art. Some other applique is pretty critical to get lined up just right, otherwise it looks weird. The pieces, you get weird gaps in it, but this one's pretty friendly. So what you can do if you don't want this to move and you had your paper pattern underneath, you can just quick set with your hot iron, and just a second or two will hold that piece in place for you. So you can, I've stood it up. My barn is staying put. So now I can easily keep that piece in where I want it. And then I can do the same thing with another layer over top. So if I had the background layout behind here, you might not be able to see where the barn door lands, but you would be able to see where the roof outline is and get that lined up properly. And then you can guess just right. It's not fussy on here, but same thing, just a quick press, and that'll be enough to hold our barn door to our barn. And if I needed to I'm going to make another detail on my barn because I can. What shape do I want that? I want a little window up in the top of my barn. So if you want that piece to stay there, 1, 2, 3, just a quick press. And these things are not permanently adhered yet. You could pick them up while they're warm. Anyway, once this is cool, you can lift it right up and you can build out those pieces. So on this pattern, I would build the barn with its roof and the silo and the watermelon pieces. I would build all of those together this way and lift them up and set them to the side. And then I would do the same thing with my truck and the watermelon there. And let that cool, lift it up, set it aside. I do the same thing with the flower in the pot. Get those all lined up perfectly. And it looks like it might just be stitching details for the stems. So maybe just build the flowers and then build the pot. And then I do the same thing with this bird feeder. So then you can build all the little pieces where you need to have the layout done properly. And then you can build on top of, once you're ready, you'd be able to go back, get your farm laid out on your background fabric, and then wiggle and put that barn in just the right place. And wiggle your hummingbirds around and get them in just the right place. So it's really pretty easy to get this all laid out and have it all lined up properly when you're done. But you don't need to overthink it. If you kind of start, lots of patterns will have instructions of how to build out through their applique. So the stuff at the very back will need to be on your backing fabric. Then you'll build out layer by layer towards yourself in the image. But your applique pressing sheet will allow you to temporarily fuse those layers together, build your barn, and then apply your barn to your fabric. So it's pretty straightforward and easy. I think you can all handle that part. And that's it for day 3. Getting your stuff fused. It's easy, don't be afraid. And this is not like a final, you can do a final fuse on all of this. So whatever the fusing instructions are for the fusible you're using, I would follow those when you've got all those pieces layered on your background fabric. Don't get too eager before they're all placed. At this point, I can probably still move that little triangle off the top of my barn if I decide that it doesn't work with the roof when I get the roof cut, because it's not permanently adhered, it's just kind of tacked temporarily, but tacked enough that I don't have to fiddle with 8 million little pieces when all I need is one big barn. So that's what we've got going for you today. Tomorrow we're stitching. If you guys have more questions, feel free to throw them up in the comments after the video is done. We will try and get them answered. And thanks for joining me again today. We will see you tomorrow for more fun. Stay safe, stay calm, enjoy some sunshine. It's so sunny, it's so nice. I'm a little toasty already today, so thanks guys, bye.